When Donald Trump announced his meme coin, we made the bold prediction that this just might end up being a scam. And now the results are in, and yeah, that's what it was. Let's take a look at the price of this coin over time. So you can see it's going down, and I'm not a financial whiz or anything, but I'm pretty sure line is supposed to go up. And it didn't. It's going down. It had hovered around $17 this week. That's less than a quarter of its peak value, which means a lot of people bought it for 4 times what it's now worth. And again, not a financial whiz, but I don't think you're supposed to lose 75% of the value of an investment in like a month. I don't think that's generally considered a good rate of return. And so the early rise though, which you saw in that chart, that helped some investors earn significant profit, while its crash caused more than 810,000 crypto wallets to lose $2 billion combined. Meanwhile, Trump and his family have brought in approximately $100 million just in the trading fees alone. That's not the value of the coin that they own, and they own the majority of it. That's just because they own the platform. And as things are traded, they get a little bit of a cut of it. So as you know, I'm gonna speculate, hypothetically, Chinese billionaires or whatever, buy up a bunch of the coin, raising the value of his coins. He takes a cut of that. And then as his followers eventually, once they're allowed to buy it, once the price has already been jacked up, that's how you get screwed on the front end. As they buy it, he takes a little cut. And then as the wealthy people then drop it, the dump part of the pump and dump, he makes more money even then. And remember, he owns 80% of the supply. Now that will be unlocked over 3 years. Now the joke could be a little bit on Trump in that it's not trending towards that 80% being worth much in 3 years. But if it is, they're gonna make literally billions of dollars. And a lot of people did make money. 21 crypto whales, those are people who purchased more than 500,000 tokens individually. They generated over $200 million in gains during the first 2 days of the token's existence as the price got jacked up, and then they fled. So they got their money, they made big profit, and then they left regular Trump supporters just holding the bag at that point. And you can see an example of some of this. Individual people making $100 million, some making $3 million almost instantly. And I just want you to remember, not everybody got to buy at the same time. In that graphic, you can see there was that one account that purchased, I don't know, that's written in a weird way, a lot of money. They bought it before the coin was launched to the public. So Trump automatically has 80% right off the bat. Wealthy investors get to buy it before the price has gone up. Then he releases it with the price already raised, and that's when his loyalist followers get to buy some. And that's when the dump starts at that point. Now they thought this is an investment, this is how they're gonna get rich, so they hold on to it. But the people who've already been through the cycle of pump and dumps at this point, they know the exact timeline of this, and that's why they made millions of dollars, whereas the better part of a million wallet holders, many of them probably dedicated MAGA people, lost a ton of money. And someday they're gonna have to sell. And then those who hold on to it at that point are gonna lose even more. And so David, like, I know a lot of people will like delight in this. I feel bad for them because I'm sure a lot of these MAGA people they're very desperate. Like the economy's in a rough place. And now it's only harder for them because they trusted the wrong person. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like what, some sort of a Ponzi scheme or pyramid scheme, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not sure this is the right word, John, but how cynical do you have to be if you're Donald Trump to be able to take advantage of your own supporters this way? I mean, Trump's already a self-proclaimed billionaire. Does he really need, more and more billions of dollars simply off the backs of his supporters and people who unwittingly think that this coin is a great investment because it's associated with Donald Trump and it's going to go the way of everything else? Donald Trump University, the Trump shuttle, the Trump champagne, the Trump water, everything goes bust. And this is what's happening yet again.
Yeah, and look, we're all used to Donald Trump screwing over his followers because as you've pointed out, we've seen it many times, but like, is there a point when they're gonna get that that's what's happening? Because like he was asked about the fact that this coin was a pump and dump. It went up and then they all sold it off. Some people made tons of money, most people lost their money. He was asked about that. And he said, I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. And like, dude, first of all, I didn't lose a single dollar because I didn't buy this stupid meme coin, obviously. So I'm not angry for myself. I'm angry for them. If you're a MAGA person who might have lost your life savings, you might have lost everything on this. He doesn't even pretend to care about that. I don't know. I just launched it. I got hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions. I don't give a damn what happened. I heard it was very successful. Yeah, it was for him. His family, by definition, it was baked into it, was always gonna make out like the bandits they are. And his wealthy friends who got to buy before it was publicly available, they all made money. It was very successful for them, but for regular MAGA people, not a success by design. Why aren't they angrier? And to be fair, some of them actually are. And so some people are tweeting things like done with this Trump, it's the symbol for the token or whatever, crap, sold it all, what a joke. Others saying now on the cusp of getting some liberalization of crypto regulations of this country. The main thing people are thinking about crypto is, oh, it's just a casino for these meme coins. It does the opposite of validating us. It makes us look completely unserious. Yeah, that's what it's doing actually. One said, this is on Reddit, this is ridiculous. I've been disappointed with Trump's decisions since the elections between the tech bros influence, this crypto BS, and that god-awful peace deal reports say Trump forced on our only Middle East ally. At this point, my excitement for Trump has turned into just please don't F this up. His border czar seems to be the only serious person in the whole effing administration. It seems Trump only cares about his reputation here and in the near future and not how his decisions could affect things down the line. Yeah, we were all shocked to find out like 10 years into the Trump thing that he doesn't really care about how his decisions affect people. Were you just uncorked like 5 minutes ago and then jumped onto Reddit to post your like what you've discovered? Like this is who he is, David. This is who he's always been. And I do feel, but obviously I'm getting a little bit of schadenfreude like this. And I know that speaks poorly to me as a person, but I just can't believe that they don't get that this guy is and always has been a con artist.
Well, and I think they're easily misled. I think they're easily misled. I mean, just take that example, that guy who said the only person who's doing his job is Tom Homan. Well, and the deportations, well, the fact is the deportations, even if you want the deportations, they're only about like half the rate that the Biden administration was pulling them off. So they're not even as effective at deporting people, as much as I hate that policy. Thank God they're so incompetent that they can't pull this off. And that's the thing. I mean, so many of us were hoping that Donald Trump, once he won, that he would just go play golf all the time and leave us all alone and just take the entire 4 years. Don't do anything, because don't make things worse. What we're seeing is he is making things worse. And what's even worse than all of that is that his own supporters, a lot of them, come up with very simplistic, stupid reasons to believe it and never once really blame Donald Trump. Although that last person who wrote blamed Donald Trump for a lot of things, at a certain point, you'd like to think it would catch up with people.
Yeah, and it's a great point about Tom Homan, by the way. And look, what it is it's worse, but not in that it's just bigger. It's not that they've yet deported 1 million people, which is what MAGA would want. They want it to be worse in that way. It's just worse. Every part of it's more expensive. Shipping people to Guantanamo needlessly costs way more money. Doing all the flights to other countries, they switched those over to military jets, which now cost way more money to actually run. And they did all of this symbolically, because they want to treat them like terrorists. That's why they're doing it. So all of it's much more expensive, but as you point out, it's not even that they're deporting more people. Now, part of that is because, as we said, there are not the legions of violent criminals that you pretended there would be, Donald Trump. But also in terms of people crossing the border, as we were pointing out, those numbers had already gone down to basically nothing in the latter months of Joe Biden's term. And so he can't make good on what like Trump supporters thought they were gonna get. He's just trying to feed them like raw xenophobia at incredible expense to the American taxpayers. So we'll see. And by the way, I'm sure you saw, they were taking all of these like years old deportation press releases, and then they were like triggering them to go live on Google again. So Google would be filled up with announcements of deportations from last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4, like way back, so that it would be everywhere in the news, even though there were deportations that already happened. So there's a lot of like, I don't know, like the collusion to all of this. There's also a lot of horror happening at the same time.
It's all a show. Everything with Donald Trump is a show, whether it's tariffs, whether it's deportations, whether it's getting tough on Russia and China, it's all a show. And unfortunately, sometimes the show does have consequences.
When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?